Hello freelancers, it's your pricing queen Jazz here, and welcome to the Creative Business Kitchen, where ambitious freelancers go to build a business that feeds their passion and fills their back pocket. Today we are talking all about firing a client. And today we're going to try and do it without getting burned. We're also going to talk about how not every client is your problem to solve, and how some of them are just problem clients to begin with. Let's be honest, this conversation is going to be bringing the heat, so hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and prepare to feast on all things to help you find your own flavor of freelance success. Let's dig in. Okay, firstly, breathe. If you found this video, you're probably already in the position of needing to fire a client. Am I right? It's hard, but I'm really proud of you for getting to this point. It's not easy, but I got you. This video is going to be here to help you navigate something that almost every creative has encountered and come out without the scorch marks. I'm here to let you know that right now, that every single designer that's worked with clients for more than a year has fired a client before. It sucks, it's hard, and it's normal. In fact, this is actually going to be a really good thing because it means that you are getting braver with what you do and what you don't do and what you don't want from your clients. For this, I'm so proud of you. All right, so let's start breaking this down. Why are we firing the client? Quite often, clients don't realize that they have overstepped boundaries or done something wrong. We hope. But that doesn't mean that they can continue bad behavior or throwing up those red flags. And if you want to read more about the 6 red flags of bad clients, head here. We can give them about this much of the benefit of the doubt, maybe a little bit more, but there has to be a point where we say, no, this needs to change. Now, maybe we're doing this and we're firing this client because the client isn't listening to me. You would think that the client understands that by hiring you as the professional creative in the room, that they sometimes need to listen to your wisdom and skills. But this isn't always the case, and it can be incredibly frustrating. A client that micromanages you, that blocks your professional assistance and becomes a bit of a know-it-all is not only a pain, but also costly and inefficient, and it's a bad use of your time. It's always a good idea to toss this client out with the leftovers from last night's dinner. I know, it's hard. Stick with me. Now, maybe you're firing this client because their communication straight up sucks. A good friend of mine who works in projects once told me that when working with others, she has a 7-minute rule. If someone turned up to a meeting more than 7 minutes late without giving her a reason or a heads up why they were being late, she left the meeting. It's about respecting each other's energy and respecting each other's time. Same goes for a client that takes weeks to provide feedback, who ghosts and then reappears out of the blue, wanting to make sure that you remember every detail from your last conversation. These clients are straight up disrespectful, plain and simple, and they need to be given the boot. They are demanding like a toddler at tea time. There are some clients that I have added fees that I can charge because I know they're going to be a problem. But sometimes we don't have the added luxury of putting that pain in the ass tax into effect before we see those bad behaviors actually happen. Things like putting the pressure on you without cause, multiple communication streams, lighting up at all hours, acting like everything is urgent and due yesterday when it's actually them not having good time management skills. Infuriating, totally not worth it if you can't charge a premium for that premium service. And the last one that you might be firing a client over is that your gut is screaming. Ever had a message or a call from a client and as soon as their name flashes on a screen, you feel like you've just drank a glass of milk and a glass of juice as a chaser? Yet this, my freelance friend, is the number one indicator that it's time to let that client go. Your gut is a really good indicator of what's healthy for you and what's going to make you sick. And this client is going to make you want to vomit. So at the end of the day, I need you to remember that you're the boss and you deserve to enjoy the time that you're working. You've chosen to do it. And sure, you need clients to pay the bills, but some of those clients are actually costing you money rather than making you money. And it's time to draw the line. So now into the meaty bit. How do we break up with this client? Another one. Deep breath. We got this. The hardest part is actually over. Recognizing that it's time to say goodbye and taking that first step is hard. This one's the easy one. So here's how we break up without getting burned. First, I want you to check your terms and conditions. In my contracts, I have a section that covers if the project is terminated and who's responsible for what. Say, for example, I terminated an agreement and it was my responsibility to update them on what stage of the project was up to and how that affected the end cost. This also applies if there are things that need to be fulfilled or assets that I need to hand over as part of the breakup process. Now, if I don't have these things communicated and covered in my contracts, I actually run the risk of the client being upset and feeling burned and passing that on to someone else, someone that could be a future potential client. That's bad business and bad word of mouth. Next, I want you to keep it profesh. It is so tempting to tell the clients off, to make sure that they know what they did wrong and they should be told. But if you do, it's actually going to come across as reprimanding the client and they're not interested in that. And it's not a good look. Realistically, once that client is out of your life, their bad behaviors and issues aren't yours to deal with. So who will it actually be really helping letting them know how shit they are? Also, take the emotion out of it. I've more than once taken an extra bit of time to look over the email or got someone to proof it so that I know I'm not falling into a puddle of emotion and throwing it back at them. Now, just because you aren't the one, someone else might be. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and we all know that someone who might be better at what we don't do so well. Set your client up for success by sending them to someone that might be able to help them in your circle of creative connections. Different people handle different people differently. Let it happen. It's about reputation at this point. Leaving them hungry for a solution will quickly turn to hangry when they're back at square one, without a solution and potentially out of pocket with time and with money. So just like a restaurant reputation is heavily influenced by its customers, the same can be said for the reputation of your design business. It's just as important to look after those who choose to dine there, as well as it is the ones that actually see the door and who aren't the right fit. Okay, so I'm going to share something with you, which is my breakup email recipe. So this is a script from my email recipe basis handbook, but I'm going to be giving you a taster here for free. So this would be a situation where you are parting ways with a client that is simply a pain in the ass, but we are trying to maintain the relationship. We're trying to not burn bridges. Okay, here we go. Hi, client. Recently, there have been some problems with our working relationship. Although it isn't easy to say, I think that another company may be a better fit for you and your specific needs. I have several same and whatever service provider you are in my network who are actively looking to connect with companies like yours. If you're interested, I would love to refer them to you. They do fantastic work, and I think it would be a great fit for your brand's needs. As of, and include the date, I won't be able to assist you with, and then whatever the work you are doing any further. Thanks for understanding. Wishing you all the best. Just a note here, if you or they have obligations based on the contract, make sure that you let them know in this email so it's in writing and you're on the same page. Things like paying balances, finished files, all of that. Make sure nothing goes left unsaid, because otherwise it'll come back and bite you in the butt. Order up! Alright, that is a wrap on today's video, my fellow culinary creative. I hope I have given you some food for thought when it comes to ditching those unsavory clients and getting back to building that better client base for your freelancing business. So you want to keep feasting? Head over to creativebusinesskitchen.com for even more resources and tools like the ones you saw today to help you grow a profitable freelance business. From creative calculators to gourmet guides, from hungry clients that you can find to charging with confidence as a creative, I serve up everything that you need to cook up a storm of profit and passion in your creative business. See you in the kitchen. Now go get a snack. You've totally earned it after firing that pain in the ass client.